Hi, this video is about solving by completing the square. This is at the highly proficient level. Um, One of the things that we usually want to have is we want to have like x squared plus maybe minus a bx value, and then we want to go from there. But because this one has a 2 out in front, you kind of want to get rid of that first. So because each of these are even, I can divide 2 out of all of them. One of the things you can do is you can rewrite this as 2 times x squared minus 4x minus 17 is equal to 0. And then just double check with it. 2 times x would be x squared, would be 2x squared. 2 times negative 4x would be negative 8x. And 2 times negative 17 would be negative 34. So sure enough, that's factored correctly. But now I can just say, hey, let's take this whole thing and divide by 2. And we have to do that on both sides. And so as a result, this goes away because it's 1, and this goes away because 0 divided by any another number would be 0. And so then I'm just going to take this up here and rewrite this as x squared minus 4x plus blank equals, oh, sorry, we missed a step here. Let's go minus 17 equals 0. And then we want to get rid of the 17. So I'm going to put plus 17, both sides, plus 17, plus 17. This is going to cancel. And you're going to be left with x squared minus 4x. Now here I'm going to put plus blank because this is where I'm going to put whatever I'm going to put to complete the square is equal to 17. And over here I'm going to put another blank, which is going to be the same thing to remind me that I've got to add the same thing to both sides. And so here I would go, okay, I'm just going to over here to the side and put negative 4 divided by 2 would be negative 2. And I'm going to use this negative 2. But first I'm going to take that same negative 2. Let's go ahead, that same negative 2 here, and I'm going to square it. And that would give me a positive 4. So let's go green with that. And that positive 4 we're going to put here and here. It's going to go right here and complete the square. So this plus 4 goes there, but also has to go here to keep the equation balanced. Now, because this is a perfect square now, it's a perfect square trinomial, we can rewrite it as something squared. And that something squared is this, x, and here's where we're going to go with that, minus 2. X minus 2 squared is equal to 17 plus 4, which would be 21. And I left some space here on purpose because I know the next thing I'm going to do is get rid of that square by square rooting, but I need to make sure that I put the plus or minus on this side over here. So here I'm going to take the square root. I'm going to take the square root, and again, here's the plus or minus. So I get now x minus 2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 21. And then finally, I want to get the x alone. So I add 2 and add 2 here. And this was going to cancel that. And then just to note real quick about that 21, the square root of 21, I should say. I want to know if I can simplify it. Because the square root of 21 is between the square root of 16, which is 4, and the square root of 25, which is 5. So the square root of 21 in between those two is going to be 4 point something, 4 point yada, yada, yada. But it's going to be an irrational number. That doesn't mean that we couldn't maybe simplify it. To see if we can simplify it, we want to look at its prime factors. And because 21 is made up of just 3 times 7, those are the only prime factors it has. There's only one 3, there's only one 7. That means you can't simplify that to the square root of 21. But you want to ask yourself if you could, because if you can simplify it, you should. we generally speaking want to, in math, if you can simplify it, you should leave your answer in simplest form. And this cannot be, so simplest form is just like it is. So we're just going to separate this out into two solutions: 2 plus the square root of 21 and 2 minus the square root of 21. And those would be the two solutions. Clean that up just a little bit. 2 minus. So there you go.